26 muscles that are involved in your breathing process. The inhale, the holding there, the smooth exhale, which is both passive and then a little extra active, holding that empty, and inhaling and filling. And also the power of having a singular point of focus for the mind, right? There's so much on our plate in terms of things to get us out of this sacred state of inner stillness, peace, calm, contentment, as one of my teachers called it, cheerful indifference, which I really like that term if you consider it, right? It's, you don't have to be strongly this way or strongly that way. You're just sort of in that in-between place of, well, hey, you know, it is what it is, and I'm cheerfully indifferent, which I think is an interesting idea. So just cultivating that state as you close the eyes if you'd like, or keep open if that feels better. The eyes closed is powerful because it takes that outgoing perception ability of the brain and turns it around. As the Taoists say, turn the light around. So like a spotlight that you're pouring backwards now into your own being, which includes your physical body, your subtle physical, which is like electrical signals and the neurochemistry and the fluids, various fluid levels. So feeling the reality of all that going on, feeling the lungs and diaphragm as they're moving, the heart as it's beating, and cultivating an expanded brain state where you're holding all of that in your awareness. Just be here a couple of minutes. Some of you may be experiencing that quiet, that inner stillness that is powerful, it's nourishing, it's healing. Others of you, it may be less that and more experiencing the disturbances, which is a huge part of the practice as well. Just seeing what is going on in your mind and labeling it, noticing if your mind is projected into the future or it's worried about this or that little task or obligation. But just watching that happen is a huge part of the practice. It's not quite as pleasant as when the mind is clear and your breath is full and the nerves are just kind of chilled out and the body and brain are connected, right? That's where we're headed over time. But some days it's just not what's happening. But practicing looking at that layer of your being and getting really good at attending to it is the skill. So final minute and a half, just observing, the power of observation. Now just gently letting your eyes open. Keep as much of that observation back on yourself as you can so that it's not jumping out of your body, disconnecting, but rather staying connected. Place your hands on your knees. Let's do our spinal movements. Sliding hands forward, rounding. Hold this position as long as you'd like. Notice there's little wiggles you could do, maybe the skull, maybe the rib cage, little wringing out of the shoulders. And then when it feels appropriate, just slide the hands back, lift the chest, pull elbows back, lift the chin, holding there as long as you'd like. We'll do about 2 more, but be at your own pace. It's so important to make these movements and postures your own by not feeling like you're stuck to some repetition or some, pace that is some teacher's pace, especially with this stuff. Maybe in other practices, it's more important to stick to that. But here, it's all about personalization. It really is just about making it feel incredibly appropriate and personal. So it's just really addressing where you have barnacles, where you have stuck spots, where you're feeling lack of consciousness or awareness. And just finishing, moving between those 2 positions. When you're rounded, that's called spinal flexion. And when you're arched, that's spinal extension. And not only does that help just clean out barnacles and rust and stagnation, but it also helps us, again, find neutral. So make your way to neutral after you finish and you feel even on either side. And notice that your neutral might have a little more width to it, right? Whereas maybe when we started, we felt compressed. Now we move front and back. So now we feel that central channel has a little more space, right? There's more space within you. Now we're going to do rotation. Take left hand to right knee, right hand to right buttock, and just turn gently. We're going to do 2 to each side. So just twist and rotate only as deep as feels good. And then when you're ready, release that, turn back to center and switch to the other side. So we're just noticing the lumbar spine or the waist can rotate, the mid-back and thoracic spine can rotate, the neck can rotate, the skull can turn, and then we're back. 1 more to each side. It's like wringing out a rag. Once more to your left. After you finish and you're even on each side, then again, come back to the middle, feel that neutral. Notice, does your neutral feel different? Does it feel like there's more space, less pressure, less compression? Now we do our lateral movements, side movements. Hang your arms and droop the head and drip out of the ear and hang and reach. This could be your whole pose, just like this. Or you take the other arm up, elbow leading with a soft, soft wrist. Then you could keep floating that soft wrist, possibly reaching all the way up. If this bothers your shoulder, don't do it, right? If you're like, ooh, I can't do that, then go back to this version, right? But we're still getting that spinal tilt. And then back to the middle, we'll do 2 to each side of these. All right, so either that soft version, maybe with the elbow lead, possibly full reach. And reverse, 1 more to each side, and just make it your own. Once again, you're not glued to me, right? I'm here just sort of floating in your ether, just giving you some ideas. So you just open your eyes, you look at me, you go, oh, yeah, that's what we're doing. Then you can just close the eyes again and dive in and experience that opportunity to unlock where you're locked, clean out where we're stagnant, and as my teacher would say, not through, where there's not throughness, through, passage through. In Chinese, it's tong, the word tong, you want throughness. And we're back to the middle. All righty. Head and neck. So rest your hands. We've been working on this new set, this little set of movements. So first is just turn your head to look right and turn your head to look left. Mostly it's just what's your comfortable range, with maybe 5% of push the range. Soft and turn, push the range. Now this is the first movement and the last movement. The next movement, watch me do it once. When I turn, I look slightly down behind me. My chin drops so my neck gets a unique position. When I come back, I look slightly up in front. So my chin's a little bit up. And then when I go over the top and to the other side, I look slightly down. So it's up in front, down behind. Up in front, down behind. Now remember, two options here. You're tracking what you see in the room with your eyes. Eyes are open. You're literally looking at the room and track. That's one usage of this pose. And then close the eyes and focus on the feeling of the skull joint and the neck and how it's making that little half circle. And maybe you increase the range. Let's do a couple more and just notice either eyes closed or open. You're doing two different subtle sort of cherry on top, but the bulk of it is similar. Now, you might imagine the next one is look slightly down in front and slightly up behind, and then slightly down in front, up behind, and down in front, up behind. Continue. So it might start like a really small little sort of slightly down and slightly up based on how your neck is feeling. As it opens though, it might be, you know, you're looking pretty high up, you're looking pretty low down and pretty high up. Go ahead and try it with the eyes closed a few times so you can focus in on the internal X-ray vision of seeing how your skull is moving in relationship to the neck. Couple more. And as I said, that first one is also the last one. So now we go back to that first one and just go straight across. Straight across. That sort of evens everything back out and gives you a sensation of maybe, my neck feels more free now than it did before I did the looking up and down variation, right? And then we come back to middle. Now watch me please for this next one. Crown of head, the smallest possible circle, meaning your head falls slightly left or right rather, back slightly, around the circle, forward of that circle. So go ahead, start with the smallest circle and then get progressively larger. Soft, right? Think about executing these movements without extra tension. You can get progressively larger, possibly even quite large with this movement. These come from that series called Chanse Gong, or silk reeling. So one of the things you're looking for is, can you do this as if you're reeling silk, which is fragile, right? So we're pulling that silk around. We're not going too hard, but we're also keeping it constant. And now on this last one, you hang your head in front, chin down by your collarbones. Then raise your head up to vertical as if someone's pulling the crown up. Let's go the other way. So the head falls softly to the left or whichever your other side, back slightly, around slightly, and forward slightly. And just roll. It's like a little bobblehead. Bobblehead. Keep your shoulders as relaxed as they can be. The rest of your body as soft as possible. As I was saying about reeling silk, when they pull silk from the cocoon, if they pull too fast, it breaks. If they pull the correct amount, but then they stop and then start again, it breaks. So this metaphor of silk reeling is informative. It's not just poetic, it's literally telling us how to think about our movements. Now you should be at about your maximum range. And then we hang the head forward, let it hang. Raise the head up like it's being drawn directly up. Hang your arms off the side. Right shoulder blade shrug up, hold it, and then soft and melt. Other side, left and soft. Both twice. So we're defining top, bottom. Bottom should be totally empty, totally soft. Top has a little effort involved. Bottom is totally soft. Now bring your legs closer together. Shoulder blade circle should touch that top and bottom, but it needs to go forward first without going up, then up and back, and then down into that totally soft place. Again. Now when I'm doing this, there's little subtle things that I might do with my head and neck. Like I might turn my head to look away or drop my chin down, because when this is the moving part, there's often like taffy and tentacles and barnacles that are getting loosened up. So feel free to let the head just kind of move in relationship to what's happening in the shoulder blade. And you might feel like, oh yeah, that's cleaning out this junk, right? Let's switch directions and go back, up, forward, down. Same idea, maybe the head and neck want to just move or change position, right? Like I'm often looking away or looking down slightly, and it just feels like it allows me to get a little more work done in the taffy. And switch. Forward, up, back and down. So your main emphasis is go on a journey, return to nothing at all. Go on a journey, return to nothing at all. Because eventually we want the body just dangling, open and relaxed and soft. And back and up, forward and down. And finish. Both leaning and slightly extra rounding. This time as you come up with the shoulder blades, let the elbows float up. Look at my hands though, still very soft. And then when the shoulder blades go back, the elbows come back. Wrists are still so soft. Shoulder blades down, elbows down, hands down, still soft. So they're soft throughout. Even though they go on a ride, it's not because I'm stiffening up in the hands and pulling them or leading with the hands as I often see people doing, because we're just accustomed to that. We're accustomed to our hands leading. Now see how much you can get done here. Can you round and then come up? How much fluidity can you develop? How much roundness, suppleness can you express, right? Almost like this is some beautiful dance move in some modern dance choreography that you're doing, right? Put that extra little bit of loveliness onto it. Oh, expressiveness, right? Okay, switch directions. We go back, up and over, rolling. Same idea. This one has a feel of, you see this often in white crane qigong, this, the wings all the way through the fingertips, all the way through, washing the nerves, cleaning the tissue pathways. And neutral. Alternating, right, left, right, left. But don't, see if you can, attend to both and keep both of them involved. Both are wheeling at the same time. Switch directions, wheeling, wheeling. And release. Step your feet back to hip distance. Left hand on right knee, lean over, circles. Start small, get larger, larger still, then possibly sitting up and tracing that circle. Pay attention to soft quality, wrist relaxed, soft and round. Again, if doing this sitting up is hurting your shoulder, as some of you have reported, then you should still be down here doing this, right? And not thinking that it's a failure of some kind, but rather this is you healing your body. This is appropriate practice. And pause. Other direction. Circle. Circle. And then again, keeping that quality of soft, if you bring it up here, it's just so easy. We want to get really good at just moving without extra blockage. All right, so if you're sitting up, make sure it's comfortable. And last one, release. Switch. Circle. Hanging. Trace. Big circles. And then keep that same quality in the shoulder if you sit up and draw that circle on the side wall. And other direction. Soft, soft, soft. Sitting up if you'd like to, soft. Notice it doesn't take a whole bunch of effort. And last one, release. Elbows, compress just to feel what it's like to decompress. Soft elbows, hands come down, and then with those soft elbows, raising, lowering, raising. Notice hands are very close to the body. Elbows are sort of out. They're not pressed in, nor are they way out here. They're just in this little happy place right there. This is a pathway you want to have open. Wrists so soft, hands so soft. Now we go out, the wrists still soft, and then down. Let them swing. Again, now we do it with a little bit of and let them come to stillness. Up and out, and soft. Let them swing. One more. Bring the hands up, palms turn up and down, focusing on forearms. Pronate, supinate, pronate, supinate. Then palms up, wrists and fingers slightly in and out. Right, so this little end of the bird feathers there. Then in, fold, out and through, spin, out and through. So you get the wrists going. This could be your whole exercise, or you start bringing hands in as you fold and arms out. Notice my arms are now straight, spin. I'm folding wrists and bending elbows and bringing hands in, curling them through and going out. Shum, shum, shum. So fold those wrists, because that's the main point of what we're doing here is this. So we're folding, curling everything in, and then coming under and going out. So clearing that path. And then someday you can actually do it like this, where it's going, right? But at first, just get the trail blazed before you go running down the trail. And pause. Now spin the hands. They go palms out and just the wrists a few times. Under and through. And then just the wrists with that sort of wheeling motion. And then you can bring in and roll out. Spin in, out. Boom. Boom. Shoo, 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 shoo. And down. Palms face up. Lift chest, lift chin, lift. Now the key to this one, feeling really, really good, is that elbows back and slightly down. As you contract those muscles, feel the opening across the neck and chest. And then hands go up slightly, tiger claw, into a Tai Chi fist that has space still. Remember, Tai Chi fist, wrap around, press, bow, open the back. Twice more. Inhale with the opening. So there's this rolling and spinning of the arms. Full breath, pull, 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 down and back, open, hold. And exhale, hands up, claw, fist, wrap, round, squeeze. One more. Open. Close. Finally, open and find neutral. Soft, easy. Arms down. Sit back against back of chair. Tai Chi fists. Chamber. Push. Chamber. Switch. Shift the weight. Chamber, push. Chamber, switch. Now hold out. Point, flex. 4 or 5 times. Inwards, invert, evert. Inward circles. Outward circles. Chamber, down, switch. Point, flex. Cleaning out pathways. Evert, invert. Little subtle ankle movements. Circles, inward. Outward. Chamber, and down. Scoot to the front edge of your chair. Legs pretty close together. Left leg first, ball of foot lift. Turn on the heel, opening from the hip. Lift the heel, closing. Get this weird sort of position. Opening again, lifting heel, closing again. Finally, open, hold, and internal. Lift heel, external. Lift toe, internal. External, back. Again, walk it out. Switching, heel, toe, heel, toe. Hold. Again, you want the hips and other leg to be stable units and just that leg doing most of the movement, right? Hold this one. Slide the hands out. Turn them so you can press the knees open. And then massage that inner thigh out to the knee. Again, this is a usual suspect for knee pain. It's tightness in and around here and in the hip in general, causing the knee to be sort of off center. So we're cleaning that out. Now, walk it in. Other leg. External, lift heel, internal. External, internal, hold, and walk it in. Hold. And back. One more. Hold, press, and massage. Out to the knee. And walk it in. All the way in. And back to neutral. Now this next one is a little different. It's still sort of external internal rotation, but it has a different element to it. Step your feet slightly wider than hip distance, and then notice that you can fall your thighs in and knees in, and the outer edges of the feet should sort of pop up off the floor as you rest on the inner edges of the feet. Then do the opposite. Open and press through the outer edges of the feet And again, the difference is the feet are staying neutral, meaning pointing forward, as opposed to what I was doing before where I was turning everything with it. Now, because the feet stay there and I'm still sort of rolling out, it's this spiraling quality of the legs that we're opening, right? We're not just doing hips, we're doing the whole leg spiral. Notice the inner edges of my feet are off the ground. And then internal spiral, outer edges of the feet should come off the ground a little bit. You feel a nice sort of inguinal compression there for the lymph nodes there. And then roll open, get that spiral, inward, spiral, outward, spiral, and neutral. Legs come back together. Now the legs become stable units. The pelvis is the moving part. Fold. So we've done this one before. We're going to add a little element to this one. Watch what I do, please. Just watch one round and then we'll do it together. So as I fold, spinning the arms around, right? So from this position now, I'm using the palm of my hand like a swivel around and folding. So my elbows are darn near pointing straight ahead of me. And then sitting back up. Now, you might feel what that's doing. It's opening the back, opening the muscle tissue around shoulder blades and whatnot. So try that again. We're folding at the hips. As you're folding, you're spinning on the palms, elbows pointing forward, and then coming back up. Again, when you're ready. So that's the lovely part of the infrastructure that we've built together in this class, is that we can take some of the exercises we're accustomed to and just put a cherry on top. Add a little something to it. Last one. And back up. Now, the waving of the heavenly pillar, shaking loose. Chest up, chin up, we fold. Slide hands down, round and hang. Now stay rounded as you drag yourself up. This feeling of dragging the body up. Lifting to that back bend and folding and rounding. All 24 vertebrae getting a slight, right now we're in flexion, and then we come up and move towards extension, and we stay in extension, and then release towards flexion, and then stay in flexion, extension, stay in extension, and flexion, and finally up to neutral. Step your feet wide apart now, big. Turn those arms somewhat. We're not getting all the way around, but we're going as far as comfortable there. And fold at the hips. In between your shoulder blades there, your rib cage sort of drops down, your head sort of cranes towards the floor a little bit, and then come back up and lean way back, way back. Do that again. Forward, turning the arms as you go to the bulldog, sort of Komodo dragon look. And then fold and see how much down and in you want to get there. That opens that pathway. And then up and back. One more. And we're back up. Now, please watch me do the first one and then join me. Watch first. I drop in again. Now, once I'm established, then I can do this thing here. You see my shoulder, I gently roll it, and my elbow, I gently drop it. That's like a ringing out, right? So that move, and then I turn the rib cage and head to go that same way. And then I come back to middle, and I roll that other side and turn away from it. Ring it out. So let's do that together. So from your upright position, drop in, get established down in there. Just make it feel good, right? And again, you don't have to do repetitions. You might just turn and hold and just see what you can get done while you're in there. Couple more. And making sure you're even, come back to the middle, leaning back, and let's go right into the dragon stirs the sea. Stir the sea to the right. Go through that position you were just exploring, and then lean way back and around, and then through, and back and around, through, 3 in each direction. After you've done your third, switch directions, through and around. And center. Bring legs back together. Let's have a moment of sink chi to the belly. This is the reminder that though in our practice we let the chi, right? It's just a metaphor for life force and the functionality of the body, out to play, we want to remind the body about stillness and return lest we exhaust ourselves in our practice. So at appropriate moments, come back to stillness, bit of a reset, and then arms hang by your side. Now, arms out to a T. Some of you won't be able to comfortably do this next one, but if you can, enjoy it. If not, just do what you can with it or just breathe and watch. So now we're reaching up. Once we've established this up reach, how do we get this right hand further up than the left? It's not by pulling this down, but rather by the shoulder blade doing an extra bit of what's called upward rotation. Reach higher, reach, get that extra reach, and then switch. Reach that little bit. And think of this as just getting the last little bits and funky junk out of the neck, shoulders, ribs. There's a little bit of side lean of the spine. Side lean of the spine. And then try it with both. Up, up, up. Get that extra, extra, extra. Sweeping. And down. Good. Now, last one we'll do here before we stand. Forward and up. So notice right here, the shoulder blades are just regular. They're in neutral. But in order to go further, the shoulder blades have to go into upward rotation. And we're getting up. Now add to this, lift heart, open throat, lift chin, and then as much back bend, as much sort of rainbow arc of the spine as feels good. Oh, reaching, arching. And then the arms go forward and down. Take 3 breaths here before we go to our stand to sit, sit to stand. Make sure you're at the front edge of your chair, feet a little behind the knees. As you fold, you can bring your Tai Chi fists forwards. This is just often helpful. Head goes forward of toes, and then we push through the earth. Now, every time you rise up, you want to return to nothing, 0. No major effort, no holding yourself up here. Relax. Then push the butt behind, fists maybe come out in front again, sink the tush, land it, and then go to nothing, 0, nothing extra. It's unnecessary. Then, okay, we're about to go on a journey. Got to go put a little effort in, and then we return to nothing. Ease. Oh, time to sit down. 2 more just like that. Some of you, as you get more comfortable with it, you might just work on, can you keep a sort of quality of nothing the whole time? How can you execute the movement without anything extra? Just easy, right? Now, 4 of them where we don't sit, we just squat. Squat, rise. Easy. Nothing extra. That doesn't mean it's nothing. It just means try not to have extra. Last one, sink and hold 5 seconds or so. Hold. Feel the quads, knee stabilizers, lower legs, back muscles, even some deep core, having to work a little bit to hold us up. You feel that heat, that warmth, that chi, that life force, and then straighten up and pause there. Now we're standing. Tai Chi squats. Remember, the key to that is we open the knees, hips, ankles, feet, and let the tail sink as if the tail has a weight tied to it and it's going straight towards the earth. That means we're not forcing this way. You see the difference between me jamming my back or keeping it through. And then straighten those legs. Sink just a touch. And rise just a touch. Very subtle. Sink just a touch. Now, stay sunk. Let your body weight shift more towards the balls of the feet. Come back to the middle of the feet. Weight a little more towards the heels. It's very subtle, but it's powerful internally. Externally, you're not seeing much. You can see it if you know what to look for, but internally, you're actually making a whole litany of changes occur in the feet, the ankles, up through the legs, up through the core, energetically, this sort of forward wash, backward wash, the fluid of the body. Now, with that forward and backwards movement, let the hands float a little forward. Rock back, the hands float a little back. This means you have to let go of the shoulders. Now, again, you could not let go of the shoulders and mimic the movement that I'm doing without the quality that I'm practicing, right? But you want to feel, okay, initially I'm sort of mimicking the movement, but you understand the idea of let go. Can you execute that and execute that with just soft, supple? Last one here. Now, we go forward and let the hands keep rising. That's called pung, rising energy. The hands float back towards the chest. Remember what I said about the elbows? They're not way out here. They're not way back here. They're sort of in that middle range. Bring the hands back. And then pressing down with the lightest possible press. It's actually more like a wave, a suctioning trough of a wave going down. Let's try that again. Rock backwards to get that momentum, and then forwards to get the float. Ride that circle. The hands float back as you shift back towards your heels. And then you're sort of at the middle foot as you come down. That's called on. Pung and on. The energies of rising and sinking. Again, rising. Sinking. Now the opposite of that, remember this move we did earlier. Up, close to the body, very close. And then unfurl the arms, but keep your wrists so soft. Look at my wrists. I have not straightened my fingers, haven't done anything at all at the wrist. And then once they're fully extended, then you sink elbows, wrists, fingertips, follow. And you're back in your heels a little bit. From your heels, come up with the hands like a surge through the body. Out to the fingertips and down. Surging and down. Surge and down. Now, one of each back and forth. Pung to on. And then this movement up and through to what's called lu, which is the sliding, gliding back. Let's do that once more. Pung to on. Feel those wheels, feel those circles in the body. And then you sort of rock back to the heels to get that circle started. Flow it out through the fingertips and down. crane flaps wings. This one, the main focus is this gate, this space. Think of it as a small balloon inside of this space that when you rise, that balloon is filling with air or chi and then coming back down. Very often what I'm having to train people in doing is letting go of leading through the hands when they move their arms. So much of what we do, we think of it from our hands. So we'll sort of lead with the hands and jam everything up versus soft and empty and then big, like levitation crane wings. The fingertips are just the end points of the feathers of these wings. Big. Now, hands like so. This position here. Come up, reach up, and then big sweep out to wings. Scoop and come up. Bring them up. Open, sort of like breaststroke while swimming. Can you add to this as you come down, sink into your legs a little bit, a little bend. Then when you come up, it's like this surging. It's almost like you're getting ready to fly up into the sky. So you might even lift your heels slightly. Let's do that one more time. You sink just a touch. And then as you come up, you rise. Fluid of the body rising. And sweep. Good. Now sink chi to belly. Sweep out. Roll and fold. Roll, palms up, fold at elbows. Hands come in. Sink the hands down, 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 down. Make sure they go all the way to a complete zero. Wings, roll, fold. So think of roll, fold as eventually a hyphenated single term. At first you have to learn them separately, rolling, then folding, but this roll, fold, it just goes right around the circle. So really many times, almost every time we do this little position of that arm folding and getting here, it's got to have that roll fold quality. And down. Embracing moon. Out to the wings. Now, left hand roll fold, right hand like a wing, return, embrace, hold the ball. Then left hand going up and out to the wing, right arm, wing, then switch. And reverse. And switch. And reverse. And switch. And reverse. And both arms down. Now, a new one we haven't done before. This is called left-right yin-yang. Put your weight more through your left leg, and your left arm reaches a little towards the ground. And remember this idea that we did when we did the reach up, this sort of rise of the elbow. And then change your weight and change your side. Soften long through that right arm. The left hand sort of floats up like it's on a puppet string. The left elbow floats up. And then we shift and change. So it's almost like you're walking in place a little bit. One foot is empty. Other foot is empty. This is an exercise that comes from a series called Fang Song Gong, which is all about creating sung in the body. Supple, soft tissues, supple, soft movements. Now we do this same movement with extra palm press. So the hand that's high, as it comes down, it does a sort of press, right? You turn the palm down and press. Press as this one rises up. This leg should be empty. And then palm press and rise. Palm press and rise. And so feel that change. It's very important. Change one leg to the other. So you're not frozen in the middle just doing something with your hands. You're literally making a full body change. Full body change. Full body change. Feel the spinal change, the change in the shoulders, the change through the neck and skull. There's so much happening in this simple, simple move. So that's 2 new ones, and here's a third. Now, as you come down, go back to that first exercise, just the left, right, yin yang. And now what we do is the hand that's going down comes under a circle as the hand that's up comes over a circle. And then as we change, there's a circle. And you change and there's a circle. And so it's not so much of a shoulder blade circle, which we've done earlier, but it's more like this wheeling, and we let the fingertips sort of lead out. And see how much of your taffy you can wriggle out and ride out and warm up. And focus mostly on the hand that's going down, right here. And this one that's up is because this one is down. And then they change. This one going down. And this one going down. Wheels. This is called left, right, wheel. So we did left, right, yin yang, or left, right, yin yang is those two opposites, empty and full. Then we did left, right, palm press. And now we're doing left, right, wheel, and a wheel goes one direction and switch directions. Now we focus on the hand going down the back, and also notice the path of my hand comes under the armpit like this. Down. So again, it could be just this, right? If for some of you it's just really small circle. Others you can feel, oh, gotta clean all that junk out. Clean out those wheels. Change the weight. Change the weight. Change. And then let's come back to the middle. Sink chi to belly. Up and over. Hands come down. Now, shift to the left, turn the belly button left, sweep the hands. Shift to the right, turn the belly button right, sweep the hands. Let the hands be at an after effect of what you're doing, legs, hips, and waist. Leg shift, hip turn, waist turn, hands. In that order. Now let's do brush, knee, and push. So as we shift, turn, let left arm crane wing, roll, fold. Remember, it's that one turn. Now we're ready to shift, turn, brush, knee, push. Let the hands continue through one roll, fold, one into the water. And now we're shifting first, turning belly button, and then hands. And the hands change. Shift, turn, through. Shift, turn, through. Can you execute it with less? Now, once you learn the choreography of the movement, then you practice the qualitative aspect of, am I using more than I might need to execute this change, this gesture? Now, as we come across this last time, be in your left leg, change your hands for golden rooster. One hand down, one hand up, right foot empty, shift your weight into your right leg, and then empty the left foot and just touch the floor, or lift it a small amount so that you could go back down if you needed. Or those of you feeling comfortable, you could lift it. Teacup, balance, and then let's switch. Set that foot down, toes turn slightly out. Change the weight, change the hands. Left hand down, right hand up, right foot empty. Touch the floor, lift small amount or more. Balancing the teacup. Set the foot down and change. Shift and change. Now we flow. Feel one leg fill up. Notice how this is very similar to that left, right, yin, yang, and all of that we did, is that there's a change that happens. There's this, and now our options and abilities change. We can't lift our left leg now, right? But then we go through this change. Oh, now the left leg, empty as a feather, rise. And then we got to go through the change. And then we're ready. One more. And set it down. Parallel your feet, drop both hands right into standing bear. Play with clouds. So remember, that's hands come across. That outside hand, for me, it's my right, but it looks like your left. vapors up to a cloud. Now we're ready to shift, turn. Now it's upper hand cloud, bottom hand lake, then vapor and rain. Then it's shift and change and turn, cloud, lake, vapor, rain. Continue. Now remember, you could stay with this variation or add. The challenge here would be my left leg, this leg here should be empty. So as I change, I float it like a feather in and back out. And then shift and change. As I vapor rain, float it like a feather in, keep it 100% empty. Do not put any weight in it. Step it right back out. Then we're ready to change. So it's your test of how empty is that foot. If it's truly empty, it just in, out. Shift and change. As you vapor rain, in, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. Last one each side. Back to center. Bottom hand comes up crisscross. Palms turn. Sweep down. Turn your legs just a little bit out. If possible, heel toe them a little wider than normal for a wider sort of athletic squat. Push your butt behind you and sink like you're going to gather from the earth. Now when you gather, bend the elbows and bring the hands up to your chest before you straighten your legs. Then, like you're carrying something, push through the earth and notice the power of the legs translating into the hands. And then turn the palms up, push up, and press into the sky. Hold up the sky. Feel those straight, strong legs and the power, how it translates right up to the arms. Now sweep the arms out. Butt goes a little back. Sink to a nice, powerful squat. Arms scoop. If it's comfortable, here's where you could round the spine gently. Then, as you bring your hands up to chest, you flatten the back. So you got a little spinal flexion, spinal extension back to neutral. Carry. Push down as you press up. Hold it, and sweep. This is called gathering from the earth to spread across the sky. Sink like a big bird flying down. And then maybe a little spinal suppleness practice. Then bending elbows, bringing hands to chest as you flatten the back and come up. The arms go through this spiraling. One more, sweeping, sitting, flying down like a bird swooping. And then you scoop and gather, maybe a round of the back, just to then flatten the back. And carry up all the way. Arms sweep out, down, heel toe your feet back, closer together. Sink chi to the belly. Hover the hands in front of the belly. Now we enter our closing sequence. It's like a little bookend. One hand over the navel, other hand over that hand. Men, they say, this is my real left, this will be the women's right. They say women will go up the right, down the left to go from small to large. Men should go up their left, down their right. So me, I'm going to be doing it this way, but guys, you should look like you're going this way, right, on the screen, because you're going up your left, down your right. Women go up your right, down your left. So start from the navel and small to large, 18 circles. This is called big open, big close. The idea here is the life force that centers that 2.5 inches deep to your belly button is now expanding through the organs, digestive tract, what's known as the chi high, or the big C of chi, the belly. The belly, inside the peritoneal sac of the belly. You get to the point on 17, 18 where you're just along the diaphragm, across the pubic bone area, across the diaphragm, and then down at the bottom you pause and switch directions getting smaller. 12 circles. This is just according to the tradition. 12 circles in. So getting smaller, 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 centering around the belly button. So you should be above the belly button, below the belly button, above it, below it. Eventually you're right on top of it there, going smaller, smaller, smaller. Pausing, letting it settle. Then to make the practice extra, extra nourishing, self-massage to finish. Unfold your hands, palms, rub them. Rub the back of one hand, rub the palms. Back of other hand, palms. First self-massage is pause, feel the warmth, place the hands over the eyes and front brain, and let that warmth and healing penetrate deep through the back of the brain, back of the eyes. Breathing. Now, like you're cleaning a windshield, scraping the hands across, eyes and front brain clearing. Normally we do 3 of those. We'll just do the 1. Rub, rub, rub. Now the next one, middle finger is going to trace inseam up to the hairline like this, from this place on the nose up to the hairline and back. But the palms are going to massage softly the cheeks. The index finger is going to be to the outside. You can see mine to the outside of the eye. So it's this space here. Then with that same up and down, go out the eyebrow, in the cheekbone, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, circles. Then you circle in the other direction, in, out. Then thumbs on your temples, fingers folded like so, resting on your forehead. Massage the temples with your thumbs. So index knuckles are stable, thumbs are moving. Then thumbs are stable, index knuckles pull across third eye and eyebrow channels, across. Then fingers and claws through the scalp, around the side, all the way back to now thumbs against base of skull, rub right along that ridge line. Then open palms, up, 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 up. Now, left hand or right hand on left side of neck, massage the side and the base. And switch. Other hand, other side of neck, side, base of the neck. Then drop the hands in front. Ears, scissor cut, circles. Then this is called drums in the deep. Plug the ear, middle finger against the head, drum, 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 drum. Both. Then unplug, plug, under the jaw to the chin. In, in, in. That's for the central seam down. Switch. Side neck, in, in, in. Throat, in, down, in, down, 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 down to the nape. Lung point 1 and 2. Shoulder. Lung point 1 and 2. Shoulder. Front seam, down, down, down. Liver and spleen, in, 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 in. Heart, up and down. Solar plexus, stack, circle. Switch, stack, circle. Inguinal and groin. Pubic bone area, groin, and notice this little bounce that I'm doing that loosens up the stagnation in the inguinal lymph nodes, bounce. Sacrum and tail. Then make fists, lumbar, Ming Men. Then hands, if you can. Some of you might be, you just go this low and then just sort of imagine your hands come around. Some of you might be able to come down the side, around, and up the inseam to the belly button, around the back. Rub the Ming Men, that lumbar spine, and then go down the outer back side, around, up the inner front, around to the back. One more. Ming Men, and through. Last movement, up the outer, down the inner. Same arm, up the outer, turn it, down the inner. Up, down, up, down. Switch. And sink chi to the belly one final time. Seal the practice, navel, stack, 5 breaths. And the Taoist bow, simple as you can do from here. Thank you all so much. Really lovely work. If that felt like a pretty intense one for you and you have some time that you can just lay down and zero out completely, that will make the practice most nourishing if you can just take a nap. If there are questions, feel free to stick around and chat. If you got to wander, you can just wave and say bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you all so much.
Right,
really great seeing everybody.